Hi there, it's Steve. This time we're going to talk about executive session. It's very straightforward. Lots of boards are kind of in love with executive session. They use it a lot. It's not intended for that, but there are times when you need to go into executive session and nothing else will do. So let's see if our board's doing it the right way and see how it's supposed to be done. So first up, we should look at the requirements. Give me just a second. Okay, so we have state law, which is the revised Code of Washington, 6438.035, subsection 4. And the point, you can read the entire thing there on 4, and it talks about the reasons that you go into executive session. When you can do that from an open meeting and what things can be discussed. And then I highlighted the most important part that I want to point out today, which says the motion shall state specifically the purpose for the closed session. Reference to the motion and the stated purpose for the closed session shall be included in the minutes. So you can look in the minutes and see that there was a motion to go into executive session to do something particular that's allowed under the state law. It could be a legal issue, it could be a personnel issue, possible violation of the governing documents, or an obligation of an owner to the association. Anyway, once they announce the reason or reasons for executive session, they then go into executive session and they can discuss only those items that were in the motion. So if you go into the motion to discuss a legal issue about anything, and then once you get into executive session, one of the directors says, hey, how did that other issue turn out with our employee or our former employee that was going to sue us for wrongful termination? Well, that's not proper. You don't discuss something that wasn't in the motion to discuss. You only discuss the item which should be identifiable in the motion, and you put that in the minutes so that the membership, although they can't be in the executive session, they know the subject that was discussed. And then if you take any decision, that is voted on in open meetings too, so they know what you decided to do about that issue. So that's the state law. Then we can go over to the Klahanie bylaws. And again, under 4.19, under closed meetings, it will say the same thing that the state law says, which starts here. The motion to move into closed session shall specifically state the purpose of the closed session. Reference to the motion and the stated purpose for the closed session shall be included in the minutes. And then further it says the board shall restrict the consideration of the matter during the closed portion of the meeting to only those purposes specifically exempted and stated in the motion. So that explains that by our bylaws, our board has agreed to follow the state law, which is a good thing. You want your board following the state law and following their own bylaws. So it's pretty clear on how you're supposed to do that if you're a board member. Here are a portion of the meeting minutes from the January meeting of our board. So I didn't want to go back. There's many examples of this in the historical minutes. I'm not just picking on this board, but this board is, they're the ones that we elected now. They're the ones that are making the decisions now. So item 10 on the January meeting of the board, the motion to enter executive session was moved by one person, seconded by another, and voted on 4-0. It says nothing about the purpose of the executive session. So that's not only a violation of our bylaws, it's a violation of the state law. I can tell you from having attended the February meeting that they did a very similar thing, I think with 6 board members present. And again, they did not, they made a motion to enter executive session without stating a purpose, which is required by state law. So there you go. There's your elected board at Klahanie, hard at work. These are easy things for them to fix if they just read the governing documents. Personally, Most of the boards that I have served on, I've served on some large and small boards and some organizational boards, professional organizations. They all had a parliamentarian. I don't believe any board member is serving the position of parliamentarian. Perhaps the manager is trying to make sure they follow the parliamentary rules, like within the bylaws, within the declaration, within the state law, but it's not successful so far, as you can see from the minutes. So that's all I've got for now. If you have any questions, drop me a line. Otherwise, I'll see you next time, and we'll be back here with more examples of why you may not want to be on a board because it's a lot of work. Thanks. Bye.